I admit it's kind of far-fetched, but we really need to get rid of the preseason. You got stars out there with players on the fringes just trying to make the league. The football overall is trash, and it's just a money grab from the NFL. Let's think about the player's safety for once. Now, we all know the greedy NFL is not going to completely cut the preseason. Too much money for them to make. But what they could do is shorten it to 2 games or such. I know there's value in the preseason for the coaches. They can find their players for the end of the roster and such, but when you see top players go down, such as Tony Romo did in a preseason game, suffering a broken bone in his back, he will be out 6 to 10 weeks. But when you continue to see each year a player either go down as Tony Romo, where he will miss a majority of the season or even the whole season, something has to change. And man, you got to feel for Tony Romo, right? He's up there in age, 36 years old. Looks like he's on the cusp of possibly doing something great for the Cowboys. They're the favorites to win the NFC East. They have a great offensive line, drafted Ezekiel Elliott, and then he injures his back. Again, this isn't his first back injury. He's also had collarbone injuries. And when Romo is healthy, he's the top 5 to 10 quarterback in the league. And for whatever reason, something bad always happens to Tony Romo, whether it's the botched field goal attempt, whether it's injuries, or whether it's the Dez Bryant catch that was ruled no catch against the Packers. It's something always in the way. And right when the Cowboys are ready to take that next step, they have the roster around them, this happens to them. So, going forward, what does this mean for the Cowboys? Romo will be out 6 to 10 weeks. That's the time frame of his return. Now, had this happened in the first week of the preseason, Dallas would be in a flux right now trying to find them a quarterback to start the season. But they stumbled across the gem in Dak Prescott, who has impressed in the preseason. So, this Tony Romo injury is kind of a blessing in disguise for the Cowboys. Now, of course, they will want Tony Romo there and try to compete to win the Super Bowl. But now that he is out, and Dak Prescott has impressed in the preseason, passing for 454 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions with the 137.8 passer rating, the Cowboys have their man to fill the QB position until Romo returns. And also, they may have their quarterback of the future. And with him getting regular season action, a nice chunk of his 6 to 10 weeks, they will be able to see firsthand just how great Dak Prescott is or isn't. Just how much upside he truly has and what he can bring to the Cowboys. Because let's not forget, Tony Romo is 36 years old, and he's only played 16 games in about 4 seasons, all 16 regular season games. So he has a history of injuries and not being able to play all 16 games. So they need a sufficient backup even while Tony Romo is still present. But it definitely wouldn't hurt in the meantime finding a quarterback of the future. And Dak Prescott has impressed. It is only preseason. I haven't seen one snap of it. But the Cowboys have pieces in place for a young quarterback to succeed to some extent and not have to go out there and do too much. We already know their offensive line is like the Great Wall of China. They have Dez Bryant, a go-to target. They have Jason Witten, a security blanket. And they just drafted Ezekiel Elliott, who has a promising future at the running back position. So Dak Prescott will not have to go out there and play hero ball. All he'll need to do is make the right decisions at the right time and do not make too many errant passes, and the Cowboys should be just fine. Luckily for Dallas, they're in a division when there is not a powerhouse team. You got Washington with Kirk Cousins, Eli Manning out there in New York, who are a toss-up, who only make the playoffs when they win the Super Bowl, and then the Philadelphia Eagles, who have quarterback problems. So even with Tony Romo out, there's still a good chance the Cowboys can win this division even with Dak Prescott playing a majority of the regular season, as long as he takes care of the football.